Welcome along to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're doing something a bit different, really focused. We've got just one single observation about the atmosphere.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah, and our sort of mission, if you like, is to see how much insight we can actually squeeze out of it for you.
The goal is to really understand what makes business tick.
And it really is everywhere, isn't it? I mean, just think about the phone in your pocket. Are you an Apple person?
Yeah.
A Samsung person?
Right, or even like the stuff in your kitchen cupboard. Unilever products maybe? Think Hellmann's, Lipton, Dove.
Oh yeah, and then you see logos constantly. Coca-Cola, Ford, Nike, McDonald's, Google. It's just endless.
It really shows how tangled up business is with, well, just living our lives.
So let's pin it down. What is business, fundamentally?
Well, the sources basically define it as an activity, right? It's about producing, distributing, trading goods, services, all aimed at making a profit by satisfying human needs and wants.
Okay, needs and wants. Let's break that down a bit. Needs are the absolute basics.
Yeah, food, clothes, shelter, the things you actually need to survive.
And wants are everything else. The stuff that's nice to have, like wanting a specific pizza instead of just, any food.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is how businesses don't just satisfy wants, they often create them.
Ah, right. Like you mentioned fancy headphones earlier.
Exactly. Take Apple AirPods. We all had wired headphones. They worked fine. But Apple marketed the convenience, the style, the cool factor of AirPods.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, those old wired ones felt, well, a bit clunky. They turned a nice-to-have into something people felt they almost needed. They shaped the desire.
That's a great example. So businesses meet these needs and wants with products.
Correct. And products can be goods, tangible things you can touch, like a car or that phone. Or
services, intangible things, activities like getting financial advice or streaming a movie.
Right. But the definition of a product in business studies is actually, way broader.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, think about tourism. A place like, say, a beautiful farm in New Zealand can be marketed as a product.
Okay, I see. Like an experience destination.
Exactly. Or events like a big cricket match. Even information like weather forecasts, experiences themselves, zip lining maybe.
So ideas too, like consultancy.
Yep. Assets like land, organizations like clubs, even people like artists or influencers. It's a very wide net.
Interesting. And you mentioned goods versus services. What's the key difference there?
A big one is separability. A good, like a BMW car, exists separately from the company that made it.
You buy it, it's yours.
Right. But a service, like getting that BMW serviced, is inseparable from the person providing it, the technician doing the work.
Got it. And are there different types of goods?
Sure. We can split them by usage. Consumer goods are for you and me personal use.
Like groceries or clothes?
Yeah. Things like convenience items you grab without thinking, or maybe shopping goods you compare, like electronics. Even specialty goods, like a luxury watch.
And the other type?
Industrial goods. These are bought by businesses to use in their operations. Things like machinery, raw materials, or even office supplies.
Okay. And you can also look at how long they last, right?
Mm-hmm. Durable goods things meant to last, like a fridge. And non-durable goods things used up quickly, like food or soap.
And services. Any categories there?
We can think of direct services, where you're the main recipient, like healthcare or legal advice. And then indirect or support services, things like banking, transport, telecommunications, they support other activities.
So all these products, goods, services, they get to us through markets.
Correct. Traditionally, that meant the marketplace, a physical spot. Your local farmer's market, a shopping mall.
But now, increasingly, it's the market space,
Correct.
The digital world.
Exactly. Online stores, streaming platforms, booking websites. Think Amazon versus your local high street.
There are differences, obviously, face-to-face versus screen-to-screen.
Right. Marketplace gives you that immediate inspection, maybe haggling, paying cash. MarketSpace offers, huge selection, convenience, maybe better prices sometimes, digital payments.
It's amazing how it all links up. Our basic needs spark wants, businesses create products, and markets are where the exchange happens. Like buying those chips you mentioned earlier from the supermarket. Need, want, product, market. All in one simple action.
Perfectly put. And that leads us to some other core ideas. Exchange, that's the basic transfer. You give me money, I give you this sweater.
Okay, simple trade.
Then a transaction is when that exchange is actually completed. We've agreed on the price, Payments made, the deal is done.
Makes sense. What about value? That word gets used a lot.
Value is, it's subjective. It's the customer's personal assessment of how well a product meets their needs and wants compared to what it costs them.
So it's like a mental calculation. Is this phone worth the price to me?
Exactly that. And satisfaction comes after the purchase. Were you happy? Did the product live up to what you expected? Think about buying an iPad. Were you happy with the performance, the features, the design? Did it feel worth the money afterwards?
Right, that post-purchase feeling.
And all these things underpin the common characteristics you see in almost any business. There's always a sale or exchange, transactions involving goods or services. It's usually a continuous activity, not a one-off.
There's a profit motive, usually.
Almost always. There's also risk involved, uncertainty. Businesses often create wants, as we discussed, and fundamentally, it's an economic activity.
So if you boil it right down, what are the main things a business does?
Two key activities, really. One is satisfying those needs and wants we talked about. The other is adding value to resources, taking raw materials and turning them into something more desirable or useful through production, marketing, distribution, that sort of thing.
And just quickly, you mentioned the business environment earlier.
Yeah, just briefly. There's the internal environment things the company can control, like its staff, its culture, its processes, and the external environment things it can't control, like the economy, competitors, regulations, technology shifts. That's a whole topic in itself.
Definitely. So, think about all this. Businesses are much more than just places we buy things from. They're these living systems, constantly changing to meet our needs, but also actively shaping our desires.
That's a great way to put it.
Consider that basic human need for communication. Businesses took that and transformed it, didn't they? Now, it's often a desire for the newest smartphone, packed with features we didn't even realize we wanted 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder, what other basic needs are businesses out there right now starting to reimagine for us? What desires are they cultivating for the future? Something to think about.